Start your day informed and entertained. Ryan and Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070.
It was a sudden twist in the School District 61 school board dismissal story. The province yesterday reversing the orders that resulted in the firing of the Greater Victoria School Board trustees. This is the news that suddenly emerged yesterday. BC's Education Minister explaining the decision came out of her staff failing to provide all of the documents required to a court case that was to begin yesterday. I guess, some of the pretrial stuff had already been going on, where the school trustees were, taking the government to court over their firing, and that was all about to play out. And in all of that, apparently, a failure to provide some of the documents on the BC government side. That's what we heard. Compromising the fairness of the judicial review of the dismissal. The BC Civil Liberties Association, they were an intervener in the case, and they spoke to us yesterday. They say the omitted records included texts between ministry officials, the Victoria Police Department, and the independent advisor. We at CFAX are working independently to verify the content of the texts, but for now we can tell you that Vic PD tells us it's aware of the content of the messages. And they say while officers are entitled to their personal views, Vic PD deems the exchanges unprofessional in nature, and that they do not reflect the views of the department. So we don't know what's in the text so far, but Vic PD says whatever it was, they deem unprofessional in nature. Text that involved somebody at the Victoria Police Department, ministry officials, and the independent advisor. So that's sort of where the story sits right now. We're still trying to unpack this. So here weighing in next, Lynne Block is a conservative opposition critic for education on the line to weigh in on the developing story. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack, eh?
Well, it's disheartening to hear that the government didn't hand in all the documents requested by the court order. And why didn't they? Was it somebody forgot, negligence, incompetence? I don't know. But that should have been very first in their decision-making there.
Yeah. What was your first reaction when you heard this yesterday?
Disappointing, again. The reality is that you cannot make informed decisions if you do not have all the correct information and the facts.
Now, you were supportive of the province dismissing the board back when it first happened, or were you? Maybe, what was your take originally when this took place?
My caucus and I, we supported the firing initially because the trustees failed to deliver a workable safety plan. And that was after 3 iterations and help by Kevin Godden, the retired superintendent from Abbotsford, helping out. And that was all requested by the education minister. She did not like any of the 3 workable safety plans that were to replace the school police liaison officers.
But, in general, you were in favor of the school police liaison officers, and you probably were, I guess, in favor of the direction the government had gone before. So does this, I guess, back to your original comment that this is disappointing, having the BC government now kind of back down and reinstate the school board. Would you have preferred to see the government, fight a little harder or not back down so easily here?
Well, here's what I'd like the audience to know. There are school police liaison officers throughout the province in practically all of the school districts. So what we don't have right now is a province-wide framework from the government that oversees school police liaison officers, both RCMP and policemen, regarding processes or complaints or issues. So that's something that I think would be very beneficial so that everybody can refer to it as the template.
So if there was just kind of like, here is the way we do things in BC, regardless of where you are, we don't have anything like that right now.
Well, not consistent. No, we don't. And the point being, again, that the education minister then asked for a workable safety plan to replace getting rid of the school police liaison officers. And even after 3 tries, they were not successful. So that's when she fired them.
Yeah. and now reinstated, which I guess there's still some questions about how that'll look, and also what the costs could be to the province. Do you have any sense of that yet?
That's a really good question. I have absolutely no idea. There's no transparency on costs in this government right now in anything, education or anything. I could talk for an hour on that, but I won't. Let me go back to that.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed because we now are in a state of limbo in the sense that you've got the Teachers Association and the Parents Association not supporting the firing. However, you've got the majority of parents and even the First Nations who did support the firing. So where does that leave everybody? In sort of limbo. There's no resolution except that we don't know what went on. We didn't know the processes. We didn't know how the decisions were made. For me, I personally feel that it's really important to make sure that everybody knows the facts. Be transparent.
What consequences would you like to see come out of all of this?
I would love to see a province-wide framework for school police liaison. That's a given, so that everybody knows the process is in place. That's number one. Number two is I'd like it that the school trustees in Victoria and throughout the province, and the BC School Trustees Association, I talked about that the other day, that they are in agreement. We agree on the focus should be on students' performances, students making sure that they reach their potential. Student outcomes are excellent, and that they are learning in safe, supportive environments. That's what we focus on as a school trustee. I was a school trustee. Also, fiscal responsibility, making sure the money is spent where it needs to be spent. So, and the last thing, and which is also important, we have to listen to the parents, to the students, to our constituents when we are a school trustee, right? So I think for in the future, the school trustees in School District 61 need to listen to the parents, the constituents, the teachers, as well as the students. They are in a trusting position. They are entrusted with these students. So let's focus on what's really important. Literacy, numeracy, safety.
Lynne Block, Conservative Opposition Critic for Education, on the line with us as we get reactions to this developing story yesterday, the sudden twist in the School District 61 school board dismissal story as the province is reinstating them after what sounds like a technicality about disclosing text messages to the court case that was about to begin into all of this. Wild stuff, and we appreciate your weighing in today.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and I wish that it gets to be focused on the students moving forward.
That's a good place to leave it for sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.